You're live. Okay. So as this live stream entails, we're going to be making a salad and more. I feel like the little camera looks a little fuzzy. Just a little tiny touch. I feel like I do something to defuzz it. This is my question. That looks a little bit better. I'm using the computer instead of my camera to live stream. Today, I use the big computer with its webcam. So I play around with all three. Have I filmed a video on my original Canon camera? No, I have not. But my sister asked me if I could take pictures of my niece because she hasn't had any maternity pictures yet. And she wanted my dad to do it, but I don't know. My dad, they don't really want to go places, and they're ever since the big C thing, they go shopping, but I don't think he wants to do that. So I'm going to do it for her. This is the plan. Okay, so I have the baby shower all planned. I need to actually start packing up that thing that I bought for it. Because I don't know. I'm not a big gift person, but I got her something. This is my philosophy on gifts. I feel like I would rather just buy somebody something, like treat them to lunch or buy them a coffee. Like, that's more my personality. I'm just not a big, ostentatious gift giver. But because my niece is having a baby and there's going to be a baby shower, I have made some effort to make it look cute. The bag that I have for Asher, his name's Asher. It's kind of awesome, though, because she was born in late May of 2002. And her son is going to be born, they think, approximately May 5th of this year. So she's going to be turning, trying to think, 21. She's very young. But my sister was very young when she had her. How old was my sister? I'm trying to think. Be a little think tank, Julia. Same age. She had just turned, because it was 2002. It was 23. She had just turned 21. Same age. It's kind of cool. I think that's pretty awesome. So I really feel like I'm too young to be a great aunt, to be honest with you. But it's because a lot of them had children younger. Whereas with me, it's funny, though, because I have a second great grandparent who was born in Lebanon in 1768 when we did the genealogy, because there was these big time gaps. Like, some of my grandparents, great grandparents, didn't have children until they were 40. One of them was almost 70. So yeah, that's interesting. That I had a great grandparent that lived in Rashia, Lebanon in the late 1700s because of those time gaps. Second great grandparent, I think. Or was it the third great grandparent? I don't know. So anyhow, it's somewhere along those lines. I let this lettuce sit too long. I'm going to make a tahini salad dressing per usual. I need to buy more tahini and goes to another market that actually sells a better tahini. You can buy it at Food for Less because I buy it when it's there. Or also sometimes I do like to make my own tahini. I think I should have just bought the sesame seeds. I'm kind of feeling and I don't think you need to toast them. A lot of the recipes on YouTube say that you must toast the sesame seeds for it to be flavorful. I don't agree with that. Am I a bunny rabbit for Easter? Watch this. People always tell me I'm a bunny rabbit. So I eat lettuce. So weird. So silly. People are silly. Oh no. Whoopsie noodles. Rinse you off a little. Oh, the water will soak through the leaves. It's good enough. I shouldn't let my lettuce soak so long. Or not soak so long. Sit so long. Soak. Sit. It didn't soak. It was sitting in the crisper. That doesn't make it crispier. The crisper is supposed to just make the vegetables last longer, supposedly, allegedly. Does it really? Maybe in a new high-tech fridge it does. I just don't feel like in a fridge from the 80s. This fridge probably came when they built my unit back in 1984. I'm sure the fridge is from 1984. Well, I don't know, maybe the 90s, but I'm thinking 80s, 90s. I don't know. It could be from the 80s. Like, they replaced all the appliances in my unit because my washer and dryer a few years ago had died. And there was literally a part in the dryer that they could not replace because it was like from 1985 or something. So they just had to replace my washer and dryer. And I think that's only fair because I'm like, you know what? I want a new washer and dryer, man. I want a new one, okay? That's what I want. So I told them, and they gave it to me because, I mean, that's only fair. It's only fair. Like, I know, like, people in the new lease, they get all sorts of upgrades. Like, they have new tile, they have new carpet. I've been in my unit for more than 10 years. So, like, you know what? I hate moving, though. I really hate moving. And I've been thinking about this. Like, yeah, maybe now, next year will be the time to move. But I'm putting it off until my lease is up. Because I don't know. I've just never, like, some people, they like to move all the time, or they have this goal of being a homeowner. But one day, it's a day that I really hope doesn't happen. Like, my parents have given me their house. So I just don't really feel like the need to become a homeowner because eventually I will be one. I just don't want that day to come to pass because I want my parents to live a very long time, you know? Or if, I don't know, they're just very old and I go to live with them and take care of them. But I want my mom to be very self-sufficient as she is now, up in, like, for as long as she lives. And there is, like, longevity and you can be healthy in your older age, but I'm going to break it to you. I don't think drinking is good for you. I know some people are like, oh, I can drink, but I would caution against it. My mom, like, would occasionally, very rarely drink beer, but it was so rare. And I just think there's something to be said for not drinking. I know some people are like, but drinking, smoking, it's okay. Like, you can do it. No, it's not. It's not okay. And I think being health conscious and eating a healthier diet does help. And I've seen that in my mom, who's almost 71, and she can shovel snow like bonkers. Like, she's out there shoveling snow, is more physically fit gardening than a lot of people in their 50s. I mean, I don't know. My mom's really an inspiration to me. Like, she has just guarded her health. Like, she believes in being healthy and being health conscious, being happy. Like, all that stuff I talked about happiness, I was talking about on the other channel. My mom says, just what my mom says, that being happy is the most important thing and that you should appreciate life because life's a gift from God. I believe that. I mean, it's whatever you believe, but I definitely believe that life is a gift from God. And it's like a crime not to be happy and not to appreciate life and not to look for the positivity in life. So I just have always wanted to enjoy my life. And I love how my mom thinks. Like, she's just never, like, she's never going to be on social media. That's just not her. She barely, like, I think she joined Facebook a few years ago, more just to see what we were posting. But she's just not interested in anything internet related, or it's just not for her. She's never been. But I just love my mom's philosophy on life. And she's just like the kind of person that wants to enjoy life, appreciate life. And, you know, she kind of had harder circumstances. Like, she did not grow up in a privileged kind of life. Like, she had a very, very hard childhood. And she never sugarcoated that for us. She said basically they had to grow their own food. Like, she grew, not exactly a farm. It wasn't a farm, but they raised chickens for their neighbors. They grew a lot of their own produce. Like, they had to grow a lot of their own food. Like, that was just their reality. Like, my mom lived a very, like, she had to work a lot as a kid, and she still got straight A's in school. And she was just that kind of person. Like, my mom's always been a very driven person, and I just love that about her. She took care of her older siblings. Like, she was 12, 13 when her mother passed away, and she was making dinner and cleaning the house for them. That's just the kind of person my mother is. Like, I admire her so much, but she'll never give herself credit. But it's just amazing. Like, things that I think, I just wish I had her mental fortitude. My mom is the most amazing person I know in my entire life. Like, she's just a very amazing woman, but she's just very quiet about everything she does and very wholesome. And I love how wholesome my mom is. I have the best mom on the planet. Like, a lot of people can't say that about their parents. I mean, it's not that I don't love my dad. I do, but I mean, there's just things about him. Like, I wouldn't say he's like the best father in the entire planet, because I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and lie. I don't think he's a bad person. He's always been a good provider. But my mom was literally the best mom a person could ever have. She was like a mother figure to other people, like people in the neighborhood that would just send their children over. And she would make meals for them and feed them, and she didn't expect like a payment or something. I don't know. My parents were just those kind of people, which I guess is another reason I don't think your life needs to be defined by volunteering or donating to charity. Like, charity begins at home. Like, what are you doing for your neighbors? Like, do you help your neighbors? I will say in that regard though, my dad is very like off the charts amazing. Like, he always really helps other people. He's really amazing guy like that. But I do love my parents and I respect them, and I think you should respect your parents. And I think a lot of this, like the societal thing where people, they just really hate their parents, is very misguided. And it's funny because it's kind of ignorant too, because I think a lot of people just end up to grow up to be their parents. Like, a lot of the people that say, I hate my mother, I hate my father, they act this way, but 20 years later they're acting just the same way. So I just don't agree with it. I'm not saying parents are perfect, but I think you should respect your parents unless they did something really bad. Like, I understand there's probably certain situations where parents did something to their kids that's unforgivable. I'm not saying you need to respect those kind of parents, but if you're just like some suburban kid that pretty much had everything that they ever could want, and let's be real, like, kids growing up in the 80s had a lot easier than kids growing up today, financially, stability wise. Like, the dollar went farther with inflation, certainly. So I just don't want to hear about it. Like, all these people who are like, oh, my parents weren't that great. Get over yourselves sometimes. I'm just like, maybe you should respect your parents more, because a lot of the rants that people have is like, oh, my parents didn't let me wear those clothes or do those things. Although, I'll be honest with you, that what really wasn't my mom. Like, she wanted us to dress appropriately and whatnot, but she wasn't one of those kind of parents. Like, my mom's just a really good all around person. Like, I just can't explain it. She's just not a kind of person that would ever toot her own horn, but I do it for her, because a lot of my thinking, a lot of my positivity is from her. But I think my wanting to be kind to people and just be friendly towards people, I get that from my dad. So I can admire things I get from both sides. Yeah, I can. But you should respect your parents. I feel like, I know it's not popular in modern society for people to respect their parents. Like, well, maybe American society, I just don't agree with it. I think it's very dysfunctional. Unless your parents did something really bad, I just don't get it. And I'm not saying this from like an observant Christian kind of perspective, aka Easter. I'm just saying this from an everyday. You should respect your parents. You should respect elders. You should be kind to older people, to people who created the society in which you can live. And I know, and I'm not saying that I think it's always right when boomers go after Gen X, not Gen X, Gen Z. Okay. But the thing that I do find so silly is like all these generational conflicts. I'm like, get over yourselves, guys. It's so stupid. Like, I don't want to hear about people that define themselves by the generation they live in, especially since like millennials. That's a big gap of people, a very big age range. Same with Generation X. Like, I really don't feel like somebody born in 1965 has as much in common with us born in late 70s, early 80s that are in that time frame, because they would have been a 15-year-old in 1980. how on earth are we supposed to have commonalities with those people? That doesn't really make any. I mean, we could personality wise, but those are big age ranges, and I also think it's just silly that people just can't get along with each other. But maybe my thing is, I've always kind of been I don't want to call it an old soul, but I always wanted to talk to the older people because I was always more of a calm person. And I was thinking about how on this one trip that I went on with my mom and my sisters, like when we went to go see my grandpa, like I wanted to just like watch a slideshow with the adults, whereas like I don't know, my younger sister wanted to go off shopping with her cousin, and I wanted to talk with the adults. I didn't want to be off with the younger ones. I don't know. I just always was a little bit more of a calmer type person. I wasn't an outgoing kind of like social butterfly type person, so I like talking to older people. That didn't mean I wasn't active. I just didn't understand like the people that had these generational conflicts with each other. It just seemed so contrived, and it wasn't what I was about. That's just not the kind of mindset I have. So I feel like if your whole mindset is based upon, oh, I feel like I have some sort of conflict with somebody because of what their age is or what generation they were born in, I'm like, why? Why are you? I think, I mean, I do look at TikTok occasionally. I've kind of stopped a little bit more lately just because at first it was showing me a lot of things that were related to things I thought were interesting, but lately it's just been recommending a lot of things that promote like this generational conflict. And I don't really get that. I feel like it's so contrived and it's so unhealthy. And yeah, why do you want to be like that? Why do you want to define your life by the generation that you were born in? Why don't we try and find common ground with people? It's divide and conquer politics, but divide and conquer generations, and it's kind of fooey. Stop aligning yourself with like your age demographic. Start aligning yourself with people that you feel like you have more in common with. But maybe it's because I approach these things from an introvert's perspective, because I think introverts are going to be like that. Introverts don't want to go out and party. They don't want to go to the bar scene. They don't care about that kind of stuff. Like, we just want to be homebodies, or we want to go for a walk. Like, we're just we're very to ourselves kind of people. So I'm not saying I never go out. I do like going shopping with my sister, but I prefer quieter activities over. I mean, I guess I'm a combination because sometimes I like to go to Disneyland. So I'm not saying I never go out. I never do things in public. I just don't crave like loud type of settings. Like, I just prefer a calmer setting, I guess, is my general preference. Like, I like things that are a little bit more on the calm side, a little bit more on the soothing side. But then again, I do like 80s metal music, so I don't know. I'm an interesting combination of things. I guess I'm just an interesting combination of things. But in general, I don't get all these generational conflicts that people like cleave to. I feel like, and this is another thing we need to remember too. Like, if there's somebody making videos, they want you to view the video and they want you to get mad about something. Because if you're mad, it ups engagement. Oh my gosh, like somebody's mad about something and they're like, oh my God, you're right. My mom, like, she doesn't like the way I dress or the music I listen to, or she comes into my room. Although I do think the whole music thing is like, oh my God, like the music your kids listen to, I need to censor that. I'm like, really? There's always been music that alluded to things that might not be proper, but what are you going to do? Make your kids sing hymns all day? I'm just like, I don't know. I don't get that. I think it's a little too far-fetched sometimes. I'm just like, some of it's a little too excessive, you know? Ooh, I love iceberg lettuce. The thing I love about iceberg lettuce is it's so, like, it has a very neutral palate. It's not that I don't love romaine, but people used to be kind of nasty to me. Like, oh, romaine iceberg has no nutrients and romaine has more. But the thing I like about iceberg lettuce, and I actually think I might be migrating over to cabbage because like people say, and one thing I've always kind of known is a cabbage lasts even longer in your fridge. I mean, cabbages are considered peasant food, but I don't care. I love me some peasant food. I love to eat food that's considered peasant food. My hair is so flippin' wavy. Look at this. Look at this. Wavy, wavy, wavy. Wavy hair times. Yeah, I don't know why people, I don't know, they just look down upon certain types of food. They think, oh, that's peasant food. I couldn't eat that. Why? Why is that? What is your rationale for that? Keep chopping you up. Nice smaller pieces. Like, if there's a piece that doesn't look too good, I just throw it away because, like, yeah, I should have chopped lettuce a little bit earlier, but whatever, I didn't, did I? This is why I don't need a food processor because I have a knife. I just chop with my knife. Like, I had a little mini food processor for a while, but then it broke. It wasn't the best one, I would say. So I just keep my little blender, and I have an air fryer now. So I've upgraded to that. That was an upgrade, was the air fryer. And I have my cute 1950s retro style. Not that they had microwaves in the 1950s, but yeah. I have that. And I'm eating the last of my Costco hummuses. Definitely want to go to Costco with my sister though next time, because that's the one thing about, I don't really like going with my dad, honestly, to Costco. Because there's certain things I like to buy. And he's like, oh, you don't want to buy that. So I enjoy going to Costco with my sister. And we have a lot of fun shopping because I'm like, and the reason I go to Costco with them is because since I don't drive, I'm not going to go to Costco by myself and lug home like big packages of like toilet paper and things like that makes no sense. So I go to Costco with her, but ideally you probably should go to Costco at least once a week to make the your Costco membership worth it, because I think it's not worth it unless you go a ton. Like, to indulge in the samples, but not the Costco food court. Okay, so I want to talk about, I think this could be controversial, but this is truly my opinion about the Costco churros. Costco churros are disgusting, okay? They're too bready. Like, okay, I know, like, one thing I do like occasionally deep fried is a churro. Because I think a churro deep fried is a treat and it tastes good. Like, I don't have a problem with oil or fat, but I just don't think a lot of deep fried food is good for your tummy. Also, it's more cleaning. Like, if you're deep frying things all the time, oil's going everywhere. And the thing I love about the air fryer is it keeps it kind of contained, and you can make a smaller portion or something. Like, you don't have, unless you want to batch cook. I just really love the air fryer. I'm just having so much fun with it, and I highly recommend, if you have never bought an air fryer, it's game changer, because I used to microwave a lot of things, like if I wanted to make something quickly, and that's just soggy. But air fryer is so good. Although with potatoes, I would say this, with potatoes, I think you need to cook the potatoes 100% fully. Just my opinion. You need to cook those potatoes before you stick them in the air fryer, because the air fryer cooks very quickly, and I feel like it just crisps things up more. So my recommendation would probably be to thoroughly boil or to thoroughly bake some potatoes in your microwave for like till they're completely cooked all the way through. And then you could just use the air fryer as sort of a, I don't know, way to indulge in a nice crispy potato. And I do need to make some potatoes. That's one of the things on my listy list. Yeah. So kind of getting all the lettuce arranged in the salad bowls. I don't like to waste, so I try to get every little bit that I cut up because it's all good. And I do think after this I'm migrating over to cabbage, Because I don't care. You might call it peasant food. Like I know some people are like, oh, but cabbage and lentils and rice and all these different things are peasant food. And I'm like, they're good for you. The peasants were healthier than the people that overindulged on like processed food, like back in the day. So it would be their backbreaking work that would be to their detriment, but not necessarily the food they ate. But a lot of people still look down upon certain foods and consider certain foods peasant food just because in the past that's what allegedly poor people ate, but not really, because in the Middle East, like people ate lentils and rice and tabbouleh, and I think it's just kind of maybe it's kind of an American elitism thing, like thinking like I feel like it was just this thing that some Americans felt like, well, you had to have a steak and a potato for your meal to be valid. And I've just never really subscribed to that way of thinking because I always grew up in a somewhat vegetarian household. So, yeah, I don't feel like you need to eat that for your meals to be valid, you know? And the people who say you have to eat those things, I don't agree with it, to be honest. Quite honest with you, yeah, I just don't agree with all that. Like I've tried before to listen to people that like they advocate a particular diet and they might be like really nice people, but and this was what other people said too, like some people that are into carnivore diets, they seem really nice and it seems to be something that's really working for them. But most people that enjoy food just found it so disgusting, like the whole idea of just eating animal products. It's kind of an ick thing. Even for omnivores, it's kind of an ick thing. Like whenever I kind of would talk about, oh, like there's this carnivore diet, people just were kind of like, ew. Because a lot of people that are foodies are never going to want to eat that way. And the truth is, you can actually improve your health by not eating that way. I think it works for some people and they swear by it. Good for them. I'm not like I'm all about like personal liberty. You do you. But I'm also all about preaching the benefits of eating a very plant-dense diet because a lot of people do. And yeah, maybe they eat meat. You don't have to not eat meat. If you want to eat meat with your plant-dense diet, go ahead. But fiber is not the enemy. All three micronutrients are not the enemy. Like it might be for people that have like a FODMAP issue. Like if you have particular dietary issues, then I think that's when something like the carnivore diet would be appealing. But just FYI, most people don't think that sounds very good at all. You know, I just have never really met anybody who's like, oh, that sounds so tasty. That's all I want to eat all day and night. Like, maybe for some, but not for me. Like, I just think, whatever for you, boo. Not for me, but it can be for you. Anyways, here I am once again opening tomatoes. Well, I went to Food for Less. I highly recommend Food for Less if you're in like the Inland Empire area because Food for Less has some good deals. And back in the days, I used to feel like Stater Brothers had the better deals, but honestly, I think Food for Less does. And they have this area of Food for Less. There's one thing about California life that's a little bit more affordable than other states is our produce is cheaper because a lot of produce is grown locally or in Mexico. So it has farther to travel on the food trucks, on the semi trucks. So I would say that's one thing. Actually, if you go to Food for Less, they had the bargain bin of produce. And I bought some, I think I still have it actually. Well, I have another thing of tomatoes I need to eat up. Because I was just remembering, I'm like, oh, you guys are in there. So they have like the bargain bin of produce, and on that bargain bin of produce, they have little bits and pieces of fruit or vegetables that are misshapen, or a couple pieces are rotten. But for like $1, you could get a big thing of mangoes, or a big thing of apples, or a big thing of tomatoes, and a couple are misshapen, a couple are like, I don't know, might be rotten because they've been there a little bit longer and they're about to throw it out. But that's actually a good deal. Like, I know, like, that's a lot of things too. People are they're very elitist about the size of the fruit and the size of the vegetable, and everything has to look perfect. But usually the more perfect shaped vegetables and fruit, they don't always taste better. Like, whereas like a homegrown vegetable or fruit, and I've noticed, because even though all the bargain bin fruits and vegetables aren't always organic, although sometimes I do find organic produce that's about to go off in that bargain area, depending on the day you go and the time. I think it's kind of random. I think you'd have to, but I do like food for less than that. Yeah, I do find produce that's very reasonably priced and food for less. I do. I most certainly do. Okay, so we're gonna kind of go to town, chopping up tomatoes. That's our next little thing we're chopping. Get all our tomatoes chopped up and happy in the salad. I love the sound of chopping veggies on a cutting board. It's just very soothing to me. It's like one of my favorite sounds in life. It feels so comforting, you know? So I think like certain types of diets would appeal to people that have a FODMAP issue, but most humans have no issues with digesting plant fiber. We just don't. Most humans don't. And I know people might reference, well, back in the days, or this is what Inuit people ate, but you talk to Gen Z Inuit people, I don't think they just want to eat raw walrus, you know? Some of them might, but a lot of young people want to eat like a variety of foods, just like people of all ages. So, like these extreme diets, they would appeal to people that maybe have some digestive issues. And look, I am lactose intolerant, so I totally get if people have certain diets. Plus, I don't want to eat meat, so I'm not like eschewing the diet. I just don't think that most people want to eat a carnivore diet, and I can tell you that. And I know that because I asked people who ate meat what they thought about it, and they had never heard of it, or they thought it was gross, or even if I feel like the carnivore diet is for a very specialized group of people. Just like the raw fruitarian diet is for a very specialized group of people. And these diets don't appeal to most people. Like, most people just want to eat a variety of food. That's just how it is, like, in my opinion. Like, I just don't want to eat meat, honestly. But a variety of vegetables and fruit are great. And I don't know, like, honestly, like, I don't have issues with vegetables, but I have been told by my sister, who says that she has some issues with eating certain vegetables, that my dad and I were kind of like tramps and we can just eat anything we want, which might be true. So maybe like some of the things I eat, maybe it's just because I don't have those FODMAP issues with vegetables. You know, like I can eat a lot of vegetables. I enjoy a lot of vegetables. It works for me. But so I don't know what to tell people the other day. I don't claim to be a nutritionist, and that's why I've never done videos like what I ate in a day, because I feel like that would be something a dietitian or a nutritionist might want to share. But me, I'm just sharing things that I do in my daily life. Just like somebody chastised me for not calling it train fanning. I guess if I watch a train, I'm supposed to call it train fanning. But honestly, I just admire the beauty and the sound that the train makes. Like, I'm not one of these people that's going to look up the specific kind of train it is or get in my car. Not that I drive. Some people follow the train. Like, there was this guy, like, it was very interesting. I do like watching the train channels, don't get me wrong. But it's because I like the look of the train and the sound of the train's horn. Everybody else hates the train's horn, but I really love it. And I love, like, the railroad crossing with the lights flashing and the sound it makes. It just makes me really happy. Like, I get this adrenaline rush when I see the train go by. It's just real exciting. I just really love it. But maybe it's because it's a novelty, because it's like a new thing still. Like, we didn't have a train here. Like, they talked about it for years. and it finally came to fruition. But there hadn't been a train here. Well, there's like over in Loma Linda, there's a cargo train, but there hadn't been a passenger train here since the 1960s. So it's very much a novelty, like to hear a train or to see a train going by, and it's a beautiful new train. So it's just really exciting. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love the train. And it's even more exciting when you see the big Metrolink train go by. And the first time that the train, the train's running there. She goes, is it going to hit you? It's not going to hit your, like she got all scared that her car. It's so cute. She was very, I think she was joking. You know what I really hate about, well, it's not that I hate that, but I need to go in and figure out how to do this. I don't want just any random person to try and video message me on Instagram or TikTok. Not TikTok, Instagram or Facebook Messenger. I really hate that. And I don't feel like we should, and I know there's a way I need to go in and disable it. I just feel like that should be optional where you have to give consent. But there's a lot of these people, like they just try to automatically message you. And that's why I don't accept a lot of friend requests. And I probably will have to delete this dude because he keeps like trying to video message me and I don't even know who he is and I have no desire to talk to him. I don't know who he is, but he's just like randomly trying to. So I just end up having to delete those people off my page because I'm like, this is weird. And then there was a guy, like, he would always talk to me. He'd be like, oh, I love you so much. You're so perfect. You're so great. And I mean, that's nice and all. But then recently he started telling me that I needed to like follow his YouTube channel so I could help him get more subscribers. And then I'm like, you know what? I feel like all these years, maybe he was just like saying all these like random nice things to me because he was hoping one day, because I know he's had a YouTube channel for a while, but it was kind of weird. I'm like, this is strange. It's very strange. And I'm like, you know what? I want to work on my own content. I'm not really interested in somebody saying, you need to help me do this. I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to grow my own channel right now. I'm not really interested in that. Just like, this doesn't even make any sense. And then I looked at one of his videos. He was telling me, which it was nice and all, but I noticed he had a lot of people commenting on it. So I'm like, I think he's good. I think he's finding people, but I don't know. I don't like that. Like, I never liked that. Like, the people that would go and be like, sub for sub, or subscribe to my channel, watch me, look at me. Like, okay, I know people even say here that you should say subscribe on YouTube, but I've never really liked that. And I know somebody was saying, oh, but saying subscribe really works. It might work for your personality, but I really don't like telling people that they should subscribe. Like, I even try just like quietly, very subtly, like just putting subscribe at the end of some of my hair videos in the past. But it kind of gave me this ick. Because I'm like, if people want to subscribe to you, they're going to subscribe to you. You don't have to be like sometimes I've said to somebody, like, if they're being critical of something I said, or telling me to go watch somebody else's video, I'm like, well, why don't you just subscribe to my channel? Because I just say that in that, why are they trying to get me to go off and watch something else? Like, I've said that to people before. But in general, I don't make people like, or say, you must subscribe to my channel or else. It's just weird. It's icky. I don't want to like ask for subscriptions like that. If somebody wants to subscribe to your channel, they will subscribe to your channel. You don't need to like be like, look at me, you need to subscribe. No, because when I like if there's a channel I like, if I love it and I really want to subscribe to it, I'll do that on my own. And YouTube has a subscribe button right there. If somebody really, really wants to subscribe to your content, they'll do it. And another reason I don't think subscriptions are all that in a bag of chips is because looking at the YouTube algorithm, if you look at their algorithm, you could have like 1 million subscribers, but sometimes people's engagement doesn't add up to that. Like, they might have a one-off video, but that doesn't necessarily mean like all their videos are going to have that much engagement. Like, they could have a couple of viral videos. So I just feel like, And even the big YouTubers, like people with like 300,000 subscribers, they'll say things like, oh, more of you watch and subscribe. I'm not going to chase that, okay? And I felt that way back before they even started saying like, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't like tell people to subscribe. No, I'm not going to tell you to subscribe. You can subscribe if you want to, but I'm not going to make like little like icons telling you to subscribe. I'm not about that anymore. I'm like, if you want to subscribe, you will. But like the majority of most people's viewers on YouTube, even the bigger channels, are not subscribers. Because honestly, a lot of people don't want to subscribe to your channel. They want to watch anonymously. A lot of people might be looking something up that they don't really want like anybody in their family to know about for their own privacy reasons. So they don't want to publicly subscribe to your channel. They don't want to publicly comment. A lot of people just want to watch. And that's fine. And I'm here for the people that just want to watch. Like, that's fine. You want to watch and you don't want to subscribe, that's okay. I'd love you to subscribe if you want to, but I just don't plan on, like, emphasizing that people must subscribe to my channel or else. It just feels kind of like, oh, man. Like, really? I'm not about it. So I'm going on and on about that, and I should be chopping up my tomato. So I guess I just had a lot to say about that. So, like, if you want people to subscribe to your channel and you want to promote that, promote it big and promote it hard. But I don't know, I'm just not about all that, I guess. It's not really my thing, you know? I'm not about, like, pushing the subscriptions, whatnots. I just did not. If you want to subscribe, you'll subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, you won't subscribe. This is my attitude about a lot of things in life. If you want to engage, you'll engage. If you don't want to engage, you won't engage. That's up to you. It's all on you on a stick. Like, that's like, it's all about the free will. Like just let people like do things of their own accord. That's my view on subscriptions. So I do appreciate it if you subscribe, but I only want you to do it if it's something you want to do and it's something that you resonates with you. I do think you might enjoy subscribing though to certain channels. Like if you see a video you like I am the same on video as I am in real life. Like I just don't have like what you call a camera persona. I'm the same at all times. Like some people, I guess like they have like a stage persona, camera persona, YouTube persona. That's not me. I'm just me. Like what you see is what you get. Like I don't really do a lot of edited videos. So obviously what you see is truly what you get. This is real time. Watching me make a salad and things I'm saying to you are kind of just things I would say to like a friend, you know? I love this thing, like the aerator. It feels so good. Like I just love rinsing my hands off with it. Like like when I'm food prepping, sometimes I like to just rinse my hands. Like it feels so good with hot water. I don't run my heater in my house. Like I've been trying to save on energy this winter, and it's not really that cold anyway right now, but I feel like I did acclimate myself this year. Oh, did I buy the organic? I did buy the organic green onions. Probably should have made them earlier, but these were the Cal organic ones. This is why produce in California is cheaper. Bakersfield, California. Food is cheaper in California. Like housing might be more expensive, but food cheaper. Okay, so maybe it evens out in some ways, you know. But looking at housing markets in major cities across the U.S., it's kind of all evening out. And I think what it is housing is just too much money. It's just ridiculous. Like what they want to charge for rent, houses, or anything. It's not realistic. If you have an older house, I would hold on to it. Because honestly, it's worth its weight in gold, honestly. It truly is. Da, 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 da. I'm doing an experiment. Do, da, da, da. Sometimes, like certain movements, I notice people start watching. Yeah, it didn't seem to work. Maybe I should share you somewhere. Here I am. Back, back, back. But I'm not back to back. I'm just back, back, back. I'm back. So to speak. Back, so to speak. Oh, yeah, I don't want you guys to. Oh no! Oh, Did I meet somebody new? Kind of. I just talked to him one time, okay? But it was unexpected and I feel like, yeah, there was a little bit more to it, but I want to see if I run into him again because I'm not like this kind of woman that's always like, yeah, like, I'm more introverted, okay? But I really liked him. He was very nice. And he was talking to me and asking me questions about myself. Like, it was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of fun. It wasn't expected and it sort of just happened. And I hope I see him again. But I'm just not one of those kind of women like, the more go getter women, they'd be like, oh, yeah, like all out there about it. But I don't know. I just really like talking to him. I was like, oh my gosh. He was cute too. I was like, it's been a bit like since I felt that way about somebody. It was just a very interesting interaction, and maybe I'll see him again. I mean, if I don't, that's okay. But I always like when you have an interaction like that with someone because it just shows you that it's out there. Like I truly love being single, to be honest with you, but it just kind of gives you like this perspective that you're waiting to meet somebody that would really be compatible with you in so many flipping ways. Like, I don't know. If I run into this person again, that'll be kind of fun. I'm kind of excited. It piqued my excitement quite a bit. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because, I don't feel like it has, like, I've chosen to actively not be on dating apps and not pursue that sort of thing because I just want this organic, beautiful interaction that I know can happen. I just want that because I think that's the best way it'll happen. Like, honestly. So, I wait to see what happens organically. And I love the organic, like, things like that. I just feel like that's the best kind of way to meet people. My personal opinion, like, I'm not about that dating, I just don't have any interest in it. It's just a very extroverted thing, in my opinion. Like, who wants to meet lots of new people that you just don't really know? And I tried those, like, I tried dating websites years ago, and then I tried the dating apps, and I never really had a good feeling about them. And I ended up going on one date a few years ago with someone I met on a dating app, and it was just weird. Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that it's perfect in real life either because, like, yeah, there was that guy in December who wanted to order for me. That was just weird. And then he was separated and not divorced. I'm like, no, not interested. I'm really not interested. I don't care. Like, I don't know what he thought. Like, he must just think, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know anybody, like, but maybe two separated people want that. I just like, this is weird. No thanks. Not that interested. I'm really not. So, like, yeah. But it was just a really nice little interaction. And I just want those really charming, happy little interactions. Like somebody that's gonna go to the ends of the earth and back for me kind of thing. And I'm not saying like, oh, I just met this person once, but sometimes you just know. Like you can see like with certain guys, like they would be willing to do that. And I just feel like, I don't know. So if I went into him this week, I really wouldn't mind at all. But I'm not looking or seeking that out either. So I'm just going to let it happen organically. That's just like my whole philosophy about these things. And I feel like once you take that philosophy, you're just so much happier, in my opinion. Because I like to see like organic interactions just come through like experiences with somebody where you just kind of know like, oh, you guys have some sort of commonality or chemistry or just something. Like it's not like, oh, we met on a dating app. And like the one guy, I never did finish saying that I met on the dating app a few years ago. He wanted to go to Applebee's, but we could only have drinks. We couldn't eat anything. And I think the waitress thought it was kind of weird. She's like, oh, like, what is up with this? Like, this dude was so weird. And it's like, I could have just paid for my own food. I would have been okay. See, that's the thing. actually in the future, if I want to get something to eat, I'm getting something to eat and you can leave. Like, if I'm in a restaurant and I decide to order food and you have a tizzy about that, I'm like, well, you can go. Like, I'm not keeping you here. I definitely will do that because, like, I have no problem with like men opening the door, being gentlemanly. That's cool. But this whole thing, like, I'm gonna order for you because I know what you like, because I know this restaurant, and you ended up ordering things I didn't even really like, even though it was like vegan. I didn't. And one thing, like the whole fried rice thing, and I don't eat egg, and he just said, "Oh, it has to have egg in it." I thought that was kind of presumptuous of him saying what happened, and that just really, no. I'm not about that. You let the lady order for herself, and you let her go first, and that's gentlemanly. And also another thing, I don't like these guys that would order for themselves first. It's very greedy. I'm just like, oh, no. So like, I don't in general like go out like looking for dating experiences. I just was like, oh, this guy was cute, and it was like a nice organic flowing interaction. And I was like, I like that. And I did like that he was très genereux, like generous, like you could tell, or the kind of guy that goes to the ends of the earth for somebody. Like, I just got that vibe from him, and that's it. Like, I want somebody that will go to the ends of the earth for me. And if you won't, if you're not going to go to the ends of the earth for me, like, no. I'm not about all this dating stuff, like the Tinder and the Bumble and the, I don't know, like, oh, somebody you saw like 6 years ago riding their bike and you were excited about that. And then, but then I found out, like, up until recently, you just got separated, but you, like, I just like, this is why being single is like the triple thick icing on the cake. And so many women and men enjoy being single because we want to meet people. And it's not that we're anti-relationship. Like, some of those, like, we're actually not anti-relationship, but we want to have a good, healthy, lasting relationship. Like, so that is why being single is the triple thick icing on the cake, because you're happy in your own company. You don't need a person to complete you. Like, you did the work and you're happy within yourself. Like, so for me, that's why I just love being single, because I have learned to enjoy my own company. So if I meet somebody, it will be organically, and it will be if the time's right. And if I don't, I've lived a rich, beautiful life. And I think about my great aunt, like, she was married. Okay. I don't think she had a child. Like, I was just debating this with a distant cousin. He was trying to say that she had a child, and I'm like, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure she didn't have a kid, because I asked my dad about that. But I don't know, this one distant cousin seems to think she had a child with this man she was married to, and I know that's not the case. They got divorced because I think she was a very independent woman. That's what I think about her. But she was married, but she went on to like live a very rich, full life. So this whole idea that you have to be in a relationship to have some sort of happiness is just false, because I don't know. I don't get it. Like, not appealing to me. So anyhow, yeah. But I can still think like, yeah, that would be nice if it's meant to be. You know, if something's meant to happen. I'm looking to see. Where's the sodium content? This one's a little high. I'm going to smell inside my pickle jar. I need to cut these pickles out of their pits. It's the pits. Don't ever buy pickles in the pit. Not pickles. Olives with a pit. I hate them. I'm going to buy those Greek olives from now on. The ones that are garlic stuffed with the jalapeno. That is so good. Oh my gosh. Those are amazing. But I do have some garlic juice that I'm going to use to make my hummus. But tahini salad dressing. And I get them all out. So it's time to cut them up. It really is. And I'll tell you this, cutting scallions doesn't make my eyes water the way that cutting in like a red onion or a white onion does. White onion is the worst, though. There's something about the white onion, it's just the most pungent. But I do feel like it does make my nose run a little bit. Okay, I'm back. I know people love it when I say that I'm back, but it's true. I like to say I'm back because I am back. I'm back. I wasn't gone as that the other time I took a big giant break. Yeah, my eyes really do feel kind of like after cutting up those green onions. It hits me afterwards, though. That's the funniest thing about cutting onions. With the red onion, it's always during. But I feel like even though I love to eat raw onion, I would say it's afterwards with the green one. It's still very pungent though, because I can feel it in my eyes. This is why you should always buy olives without the pits, because it's the pits. It's literally the pits to pit your olives. I say maybe you like olives with pits in them. I personally am like, if you can buy a tasty olive that's stuffed with garlic and jalapeno, please do that. Do not buy olives with the pits. It's so annoying. It's not annoying. I guess chopping is fun. I love to chop. I do. It's just once I've chopped the onion, my eyes start feeling very, ooh. But it's good for you. It's good to eat onions. It's good to cut up onions. I truly believe that. Right there. So I used to take the olives out. I know why he's there. My eyes, I'm telling you, my poor baby eyes. Eyes. I think it's also because the onion juice is kind of coming up. See, I can tolerate it. I just am like, well, I feel it. But I need to get back into the practice of chopping up onions every day. I feel like eating an onion, like chopped onions, raw and cooked, is just so healthy and beneficial for you. And I really want to get back into doing that. It's just making the time to do it, you know? Highly, highly recommend. Highly, highly recommend. Another reason I love pitted olives is we have machines that pit them for us and can put delicious garlic and jalapeno. Those are the best. So I'm on a quest to find those Greek olives again. I'm going to have to go looking for them. I'm on the hunt for some delicious stuffed Greek olives. So delicious. And those ones, I'm going to use this olive juice too, but oh my gosh, the olive juice, it was phenomenal, man. It was good. It was super, super good. Good. What was the ingredients in the Goya olives? Manzanilla olives, water, salt, and lactic acid. Refrigerate after opening. Yeah, okay. I will. Or I did. I finally used him up. Those are some tasty olives. You need an olive in your life. I need olives in my life anyway. I think everybody does, but definitely buy the pitted olives because there's machines that'll pit them for you. You don't need to buy. It's the pitting olives, in my opinion, and they just taste so much better. I highly, highly recommend those garlic stuffed olives. Amazing they are. You can eat them, or I do anyway. I love to eat olives. Like just go to town eating garlic stuffed olives. I'll do it. I will do it, man. Even though I think I always like sweet stuff, lately I'm wanting like these. Like one thing I'm just really loving is dark chocolate. Like I love the bitterness of dark chocolate because it has like a sweet undertone, but oh my gosh, dark chocolate just has this amazing bitter undertone that I really love. And I think the reason I love it so much is my mom used to bake all the time and she would buy the actual bitter dark chocolate for baking, and you could chop it up, and it was so flipping good, man. It's just really, I really, 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 really love it. And you can, use it for baking, but I just really love it. I love the bitterness of it. It has a slightly sweet undertone. I don't know, it's just my favorite. And then there's something about it, like the bitterness, but yet the sweetness. So like if you're eating coffee, you're drinking coffee, and then you have some bitter dark chocolate. Like something about the coffee does bring out the sweetness, and you'll taste a little bit of the bitterness, but oh my god, love. And it makes sense too because the coffee bean and the cacao bean, very close cousins, right? I love both. I love them. I love them. I love them. But I don't buy desserts though. I've decided this, like I'll eat them occasionally, but like if I'm out and about, but I intentionally, like even though I'm like sometimes craving, and sometimes I do buy desserts. I'm not saying I never do, but I feel like I get enough sugar in the American diet without like bringing more of it into the house. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm craving this, but I wait until the week when I'm out and about, and then sometimes I might eat something sweet, but I feel like I'm gonna get enough sweets as it is. Like, I don't know. So I don't need to have more of it around. I just feel like there's no need for that, personally. That's my take on it. Throw away all of my olive pits. That was definitely the pits. Like, having to depit an olive is the pits. It just is. It's the pits, man. Literally and figuratively, in both senses of the word. Literally and figuratively. literally and figuratively. Oh my goodness. What the heck is this? I get some weird messages. These little clumper people. I don't know you. You're just some random rando. Please stop sending me weirdo messages. I'm like, it's not a good look. Like, I'm like, who, like, when did all these wacky weirdos get together and decide, oh, women that we don't know want to hear, like, want unsolicited video chats with us? Like, why did they think that people want that? I don't know. Well, that guy stopped trying to video chat me. I don't know. I have no clue who he is. He's just some. I think I accidentally randomly accepted his friend request on Facebook, and I feel that's another thing with Instagram too. I try to like not follow, or the problem with Instagram is this: even if you're not following someone, if you accidentally accept their message, it's somehow telling Instagram you want to hear from this person, and these guys are trying to randomly like just video chat you, and I'm like, no, this is weird. It's so weird. But anyhow, I'm gonna stop complaining now. It is what it is. What it is. They're just some random randos. Don't know who they are. Maybe they're a bot. Who knows? Maybe they're a group of dudes that scam people. Like maybe they pretend to. Like, it could be a group of guys or gals or who knows who. They probably are looking for romantic scam chat. I feel like that's what a lot of that is. Like I don't know. I don't stick around in those conversations long enough, really. Although there was that one I was telling you that went on for like years where this person was just always telling me I was the best and the greatest and they felt such love for me. And then recently they switched it up. I think because I don't know, I hadn't responded to any of his messages in a bit. And I think the only reason I did is because he just seemed so sincere, like, oh, you're the best, you're the greatest, always telling me that. But then recently he kind of switched it up. I don't know, because I hadn't been responding to his messages. And now it was that he wants to be a YouTuber. And I needed to help him become a monetized YouTuber. And I noticed he had a lot of, like, I already talked about this, but I'm like, okay. So he sure switched it up fast. It went from being like, oh, he loved me so much, and that was like the greatest, and like he would tell me stuff like I was literally his only friend, and he saw me from afar, but he wished one day that we meet. And I'm like, I don't know. I almost fell for some of this gibberish. Like I didn't believe it completely, but I was like, oh, maybe he really like respects or the things I post. I don't know. But recently, like he changed it up, so I was like, I guess maybe he's just decided to take the other approach. Like, oh, I'm gonna start. Good. I wasn't interested anyway, but yeah, I don't like to be a chatterbean. To be honest with you, I'll chat with some people, but I'm not like super excited to like do continuous chat things with people that I don't know, just for those reasons. You know, add it tiny. Oh, that's one little node. In here, all the way in. Throw my little washcloths that I clean things off with into the washer. Oh no. Not again. Why does this keep happening? Here's my lemon. I need my lemon. I need my lemon. Get the seeds out of him. Oh gosh, some seeds got in there. Whatever. I don't really care. Some lemon seeds are good for you. I know people don't believe that, but I do. I believe they're good for you. Hi Casey, how you doing? Okay, so we have our tahini, or what's left of him. I have quite a bit of tahini left. I think we're gonna try and get the rest of him, the dregs of the tahini out. I'm gonna use all of it. I don't want him to stick to the spoon though. Okay. Oh, you're so sweet, Casey. Oh, tahini out. Come on, tahini, get out. Maybe I should have got my little scooper spatula thing out. I feel like you kind of need something that has like metal to scoop. This is why I'm not. This tahini has been just okay in flavor. It's not even the best, like in my little opinion. It's not the best tahini I've ever had. It's okay. It's just okay, but I remember the brand. I finally remember it's Tarazi. Tarazi. It's a California-based tahini, actually. That's my favorite. I had to think about it. And I don't like that Hova one either, because the Hova one like separates, but this Tarazi one, amazing. Like it's creamy, it's organic, it's whipped, no separation. It has a beautiful light flavor to it. It's just like the best tahini I've ever had. It's just so good. I need to buy that one again. So it's the Tarazi tahini. That's the one you want to get. Like this one is the hater. It's okay. It's just not like my favorite, honestly. Like I've given this one 3 chances, and I'm just not a fan. It's just okay. It's just like average. It's a very average tahini. It's a little bit better than Hova, but the thing I never really liked about Hova was the separation. I feel like I like Tarazi because it doesn't have that weird separation. Like it's just like the oil, the sesame oil and the sesame. It's just so well blended, and it's just like it's so fine. It's just so beautiful, and it has like a light color to it. It's just so it's like the best tahini ever. I'm just like, if you have that one, you've got a chance to try that one, go for it. Please do. Yum yum. I just had to try some tahini though, without salt or anything. I just like it sometimes raw like that. It's good. It's not bad. It's just not my favorite one. That one's not bad. I just like, there is one I like better. That's all I'm saying. Shake it up. Whoa. Oh no, don't shake everywhere though. Now I'm gonna have to clean. It's crazy. Okay. We're done. Well, no, there's more. I feel sinful if I don't try and scoop more of you out, but it's just so darn annoying. But sometimes it creates a big giant mess. Well, that was just a tahini mess, honestly. Let's clean the floor now. This is why I opt for washcloths over paper towels, because you can wash them. You can use them in the shower and in the kitchen. Like, they are so good. You can just clean everything with them. You can wipe down your surfaces. And then you have a whole bunch of washcloths on tap. And they're more absorbent than paper towels. So there's just so many. Like, I have paper towels, but I use that more for like major spills. Or one thing I like about paper towels is like if you have some hair on the floor and you just want to wipe up some hair off the floor, I really like paper towels for that. Like it's really good for just kind of getting a whole bunch of hair that might be on the floor wiped up. I love it for that. I have very specific purposes for different things. And I don't want to waste my tahini. I feel like I kind of still want to try the rest of it out. I'm going to try and get it out the best I can. Maybe later I can take I'll squeeze some lemon juice and olive oil in here and try and water it down. Because there's still stuff in here. I could do something with it. I'm just not wanting to play around with it right now because it feels super messy to do that. But we also have this one that I need to water down. Actually, I still have that one. I always feel guilty about the dregs of it. So I think that's one reason I want to go over to just buying sesame seeds and making my own. Putting a lot of garlic powder in. Yeah, that'll be great. Oh, I love the garlic. So I don't have lately I haven't been buying the fresh garlic because I still have this garlic powder and I'm like, I might as well use it up because why not? I honestly believe that. I'm like, use it up if you have it. And then for days that I want onions and I haven't bought onions, I still have that thing of the Costco chopped onions. So you can use things in bulk if you live alone. It's going to take you longer to get through them. That's it. But I do like things in bulk. Be a nice thin dressing, and I love that too. Although I wish I still had a little bit more tahini left. I have my little thing. I could kind of try to scrape the sides down a bit. Maybe kind of emulsify it in there more. Making a tahini based salad dressing. Now everybody needs a bath. Anytime you touch tahini, you have to start bathing your blender, your counter, your floor. It's like everything has to become bathed. You give baths to things. I'm like, oh, it's a lot of work. It truly is. But I love it. 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 And you can even wipe off your face with washcloths. And, give yourself a mini facial. I don't need to do how people scrub their face and whatnot? With all these scrubber things. I don't do that. I just put a nice warm washcloth. If my face ever feels kind of, I don't know, wants some decompressing, you just get a washcloth, get some warm water, you stick it on your face, and it feels so, so good. It's the best feeling. It feels so good when you do that. I highly, highly recommend. Oh, yes, I do. So, you need some? You need some? Okay, we're just going to let this one sit upside down on that salad and drain into it. That's a great way to just get everything out of the blender, in my opinion. Why not? It works. You don't need high tech. The blender's high tech enough, but what I'm trying to convey is you don't have to have a fancy food processor to get all your food out. If you just turn your blender upside down, everything gravity. Let Newton do the work for you. Newton's our friend. This is good. Oh, yeah. This is really good. Mm-hmm. I love salad. I love salad. Salad announces himself. Well, if salad announced himself, that's what he would say to me. Mm-hmm. 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 Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.